gonna kick it off with the Toronto Raptors, the number 3 seed, going against the not the Toronto Raptors, the number 2 seed. I'm sorry, the Boston Celtics, number 3 seed. So the series is already kicked off. Celtics took it, dominated. They're up 1-0. And in that game I saw my key points play out for the Toronto Raptors and the Boston Celtics. It's going to be all about in this series perimeter play on the perimeter, especially for the Raptors, because the Raptors, guess who they guarding? Jason Tatum, my boy Jason Tatum. Tatum get buckets. They're guarding Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker. They have to deal with that. 3 talented offensive players. They have Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. They not on the, even though they solid. And Fred VanVleet is one of my favorite players to watch, by the way. You know they solid. Their perimeter play doesn't match up to the potentials of the Boston Celtics. So the Toronto Raptors, they have to be locked in on defense. They have to control their part. In the game today, actually, the perimeter scoring for the Boston Celtics was spread out. Tatum had 17. Marcus Smart put in 21. Kemba put in 18 with 10 assists. So it was very good play, and the Toronto Raptors struggled. Matter of fact, in the game, Toronto Raptors, they finished shooting 39%. 39%, 25% for 3. And Jason Tatum, he ain't even go off for real.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, he only made 1 shot in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And they had a big lead on the Toronto Raptors. So the Raptors, they gotta get that perimeter play together offensively and defensively, because versus the Boston Celtics on offense, the Raptors are not as explosive as the Celtics, although they played together as a team. And one more point for Toronto Raptors, Pascal Siakam. He has to be on. He could take control. He can dominate. He can win his matchups against the other front court players of the Boston Celtics. He can do that, but he has to play well. He struggled in the game.
Yes, he did.
He struggled. He had 3 fouls in the first quarter.
Yeah,
first quarter.
That
limit
limits
like 1 for 5 to start with, and he has to get that together. He has to stay on the floor. So those my keys for both the teams. What you got for this series?
I got the Celtics. Why? Because I just want the Celtics to win. That's why. Yeah. It should be a pretty good matchup watching it too. Today the scoring was pretty even from everyone. Like they had 5 people. They had 5 players in double digits. Okay, so that's a good look. Obviously it's been a couple of days since the Toronto Raptors has played. They wiped out the Nets early last week. You know what I'm saying? So of course they're gonna have some rust or whatnot, but you're right. Pascal Siakam has to play. Like, what was that today? You can't be getting frustrated with these ticky-tack fouls early in the first quarter. Three of them in the first quarter? That's some JV business. Like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? But they're going to obviously need production from Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. I seen an air ball he shot out today, too, by the way. But nonetheless. And Pascal Siakam. And then everyone else. It ain't going to be easy. Like, granted, earlier... the first round was easiest it's gonna be. Okay, so Celtics ain't nothing to reckon with, considering who their coach is, who they have at the helm, Jason Tatum. Okay, all-star and now in his 3rd year. Okay, Jaylen Brown, like you mentioned, Marcus Smart. So they got their work cut out for them. But I do want the Celtics in this. Hello.
How many games you taking the Celtics? How many games?
Let's bring this one out to a 7-game series. All right, let's stretch it all out, all the way out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, I think the same. I think it's gonna be 7 games. Yes, I think it's gonna.
This thing on?
I think it's gonna go all 7 games. I think because Toronto, don't forget, they do have championship pedigree, and when they own offense and defense, when they click, it's hard to stop them. I think that they're going to do better game 2. They're going to do better. They definitely going to do better.
They will. That's not
but,
sweat that.
But when it's all said and done, when we get to Game 7, I'm taking the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, they are going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's what's
I
up.
just think that their offense is it's just more dynamic. It's just more dynamic. Now I wish they had Gordon Hayward for this series because he'll cause a matchup problem for sure. But
True, I forgot all about him, kind of.
but I mean they used to playing without him.
Exactly.
I just think, especially with how Tatum is playing now, how he's attacking the game, he looked aggressive. He got off to a slow start. And you got Jalen Brown who does the same thing, and Kemba Walker. They can't guard Kemba. They can't guard Kemba. Kyle Lowry, he can do a little bit, but he's dealing with a foot problem, I believe. So
As he is dealing with, I think, a right ankle injury. I could be.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kemba, as long as Kemba stays steady, yeah, the Boston Celtics got it. But I do think Toronto is going to give them a push though. But
They
I'm gonna take
should. As they
Celtics to
should.
second.